Hi everybody and welcome back to Kimbo's Comfort Kitchen, and today we are going to do chicken curry penne in a cream sauce. It's a recipe that I had from decades ago. It's still one of my favorite dishes. It's not that difficult to make, it's pretty easy, but you got to pay attention to details. Super tasty if you like curry. If you don't like curry, then you might as well go somewhere else, because this is all about curry. And I'm using Madras curry in a paste. I'm not using powder. I prefer to use a paste with chicken thighs. And so let's get going, see what happens. All right, so let's get into the basic ingredients. I'm using whipping cream or heavy cream, and I've got Madras curry paste. Now you can use powder if you want, but I prefer the paste. And I've taken 5 chicken thighs, which I have baked, and they're rendered. I'd like to tear them rather than chop them up, just because I like it to look a little bit more rustic. And I've got some sultana raisins, and we have red bell pepper, and we've got garlic. So that's the major ingredients for the sauce. I'm going to show you how to make the sauce in a second. And this is the garnish that goes on top. Cilantro, and I've used small cherry tomatoes. You can use any kind you want. And I've roasted some or toasted some almonds in the oven ahead of time. Back to the chicken. Now I've used thighs because I like them because they're juicier and more flavorful, but you can use chicken breasts as well. If you're using chicken breast, I would suggest that you chop them into small pieces and then fry them in the pan ahead of time. That's probably the easiest way to do it, but this is what I did this time, because I got a deal on the thighs. I love when I get a deal on the thighs. So let's make the sauce. Okay, so I lied. I am going to throw in, because I'm cooking for my mom ahead of Linda and I, my wife. I'm throwing the penne in now, which I'm going to do for 14 minutes. I'm going to stir that once it's in there for 1 minute. And then I'll go back to starting the sauce. Okay, so we're going to start the sauce, and I have put some avocado oil in the pan, which is hot, which I know it's hot because if I do this, so it's just over medium heat right now. Sorry for going all over the place, but I'm trying to give you a more dynamic presentation. One of the things that a lot of people don't know is that when you're using curry, whether it's powder or paste, it's really important to heat the paste up first before you get started. Now, don't just add the paste straight into the sauce. You don't want it to burn, but at the same token, you do want it to warm up. And here we go. Want it to warm up, and I'm going to let this emulsify a little bit with the oil. Kind of weird holding the camera with one hand and using the spoon with the other, but bear with me. I'll use my fixed camera in a minute. Anyway, so once that gets going, and you can tell by the smell, because as soon as it starts to become rather pungent in a good way, then you can add your cream. And this cream has been at room temperature for about 30 minutes. It's not cold. And I'm adding the entire thing. There you go. And I'll come back to you in a sec. Okay? I forgot to mention, when you first add, after having oil and adding cream to it, you're going to find that it separates. A little cheat that I use is I take a little bit of Dijon mustard, which is an emulsifier. It doesn't change the profile enough, and actually makes it it makes for a better flavor anyway. It's not part of the original recipe, but it's an old trick that I use anytime I want oil and water to mix. So this is starting to bubble, as you can see, and I'm going to throw in the peppers, and I'm going to let them soak in here for about 5 minutes. And I didn't saute them ahead of time. You can if you like, but in this case I'm just going to allow those to stew in the cream curry mix, and we'll go from there. And then we'll start. Oh, actually I forgot, I'm also going to add the garlic in right now. very gently and delicately, as you can see. So I'm reduced the heat on this so it's not bubbling anymore. And I'm going to leave that, as I said, for about 5 minutes and we'll be back. Okay, so I've reduced the heat a little bit and I've got some sultana raisins, and I'm going to let them go in now. These are going to absorb a lot of moisture, and we want them to puff up, and they produce a natural sugar that's going to complement this curry beautifully, as you can see. So that's 5 minutes. I've got another 5 minutes for the pasta, for the penne, and then I'm going to throw the chicken in about another 2 minutes. I just want the raisins to get a chance to plump up a little bit. Okay, so we've got a couple more minutes now. The raisins have a chance to soften up a bit, and I'm going to put the chicken in. And I'm doing the whole sauce at once, even though this is not obviously just for my mom, but I'm making it for all of us, and there will be leftovers after this. So I mean, this makes about 6 portions easily. Yeah, I just want the chicken now just kind of stew in this a bit, and I'm not particularly worried about the pasta. I don't have it on full boil, as you can see, but that's fine. It'll be ready in a couple minutes. This has a chance to stew a little bit longer, and once the pasta is al dente, then I'm going to drain that and we will plate for my mom. This sauce will sit for another 20 minutes on very low heat, which is going to make it even better, obviously. The longer you can stew this on a slow simmer, the better. But my mom comes first, so we're going to take care of her. Be right back. Okay, so let's get ready to plate. So I'm going to drain the pasta. I've got penne for Mom. It's more than enough for her. And I'm going to make a little puddle in the middle. I'm going to take some chicken and some sauce. And the idea is that when you get this in front of you and it's plated, that you actually toss this all together at the same time. And the different textures here are absolutely amazing. Between the almonds, and you can use pine nuts if you don't like almonds, but the crunchiness from that, and the curry is not all that hot. It's a little spicy, but it's not over the top. So cilantro, tomato, almonds with a sweet curry sauce. Bon appetit. Hope you enjoy.